Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to comprehensively break down how you can finish first on Manderville Mountain, the final round of the latest game mode introduced in the Fall Guys and Final Fantasy XIV collab. Whether you're trying to get your first win or going for the King Bean or Queen Bean title, you've come to the right place. This will not be a basic guide or overview of the game, but a really in-depth one, focusing on extreme precision and movement optimization. I have a strong background in strategy making and speedrunning, even claiming a few world records here and there, so I hope you'll put faith in this guide. Let's begin with a few key things that I believe are very important to winning this race. Don't get hit. Netcode and server latency. Look ahead. Don't get hit is self-explanatory. When you're hit, you're stunned for 3 seconds. This is a lot of lost time. Waiting for a good cycle for 2 seconds beats rushing in blind and getting stunned for 3 seconds. Next, netcode and server latency. The game's netcode isn't great, and really sucks especially for this type of game mode. The visual effects of dangerous areas that appear on your screen often snapshot a full second or so before you actually see them, so you might find yourself getting hit by attacks you seem to have already passed. But we can work around this. Finally, look ahead. Arguably the most important part. Building off previous ideas, you can play more proactively as opposed to reactively by planning your route ahead of time based on what you see up ahead of where you currently are. Keep all of this in mind as we move through the course, starting with the first segment, which I'll call Spinner 1. Off the start, make a straight line through the gate ahead of you, hugging the left or right side, whichever one you started on. Once you're past the blue quarter circle thing, turn very slightly towards the near side spinner, careful to keep a tight line and not waste any movement. Your spinner will be on one of 2 cycles, which you will see as you approach. With optimal movement, you will either go straight through, barely making the cycle, or you'll have to stutter step before moving forward. Next is the first moving yellow Exaflare type AoE obstacle, which I'll just call yellow. Yellow 1 here at the start of the course follows a pattern. It drops on 8 locations in order. 1 in each lane up front, then again just behind. As you run through the first spinner, look ahead at where yellow 1 is in its pattern and plan your route, even crossing over the middle if necessary. The netcode for this yellow obstacle is bad, meaning it snapshots way before you actually see it happen. When you're moving forward in a lane, it can also hit you over a green wall if you're too close. Memorize the cycle, predict the obstacle's path, and then plan and execute your own. And once you're nearly through, keep your eyes up and start looking ahead. Next is Yellow 2 and Spinner 2, a very high danger area. There are 3 spinners that rotate sequentially from left to right, and a yellow that follows the exact same pattern as Yellow 1. Use your knowledge of the yellow pattern to find a fast route through, squeezing between the middle spinners. Some patterns for this are really bad, and you'll have to wait a second or 2 before moving forward. But again, don't get hit. Waiting a second or 2 is way better than getting stunned for 3 seconds. After that is another combo, Yellow 3 and Jimbo Squares. The Jimbo Squares effectively divide the land into 5 lanes, while Yellow 3 threatens the area on the horizontal. Also, know that Yellow 3 here, unlike Yellows 1 and 2, only has 4 landing spots, not 8. But it's still critical that you look ahead and see where it's at in its cycle. The strategy for this section is very simple. The moment you exit Yellow 2 and Spinner 2, look at where Yellow 3 is in its cycle, where it just landed, and go towards it while you weave around the Jimbo Squares. Once you reach that point, Yellow 3 will have just passed, giving you a route through. The moment you're almost through, and basically even with where Yojimbo is, look all the way ahead, past the big hammers, at Yellow 4. It has the same cycle as Yellow 3, with 4 total landing spots. From this spot, check where it's at in its cycle and route yourself to that spot. If you move towards that spot in a relatively straight line through the hammers, you will get to the final stairs in a spot where the yellow is not, giving you a clean path through. Check the mini hammer as you jump up the stairs, careful not to get knocked back by it. Finish with a quick wrap around the small yellow post, touching the goal tape as soon as you are able. To finish this off, I'll commentate a run and point out some techniques and decision making that I did. I start on the right side, so I head to the right. I get a good spinner cycle, not having to stutter step. I know this yellow has just already snapshotted, so I'm free to step through without getting hit, even though it looks like I do get hit. I look ahead at the next yellow. I see that I'm free to go straight through on this yellow 2 pattern. I only have to make sure that I don't get hit by a spinner as I'm moving through. Once I know I'm safely through the spinner, I look ahead at yellow 3. I see that yellow 3 is on the right, so I stay to the right as I weave in and out of the Jimbo squares. After I know I'm safely through, I look up and see yellow 4 on the far right side. I path to the right, ready to adjust if the hammer cycle does not allow me to go straight. The cycle does allow me to go straight, so I keep going. The mini hammer is on a bad cycle as I climb up the stairs, and yellow is approaching from the left. I wait in a small safe cubby just outside the range of the mini hammer and yellow 4. Anything is better than getting hit. And it's a good thing I waited, because if I didn't, I would have lost. And with that, congratulations, you're the champion of Manderville Mountain, and maybe even the king or queen bean. When you're playing to win, always remember, look ahead and don't get hit. Thanks for watching. Best of luck.